Adiga, that's a mighty good LaCroix. I don't know the indigenous word for LaCroix, so there you have it. Yeah, normally I'm drinking coffee right now, but it's been affecting my sleep, and I even hate saying that because I just love coffee so much, but man, it has been brutal on me trying to get a good night's sleep. So, and I think it's like been piquing my anxiety a little bit too. Who knows? Who's to say? I don't know, but it's been a solid week now that I haven't had coffee past like 3 o'clock. And I think it's been, well, I take that back. Thursday nights are a little rough because I have Celebrate Recovery that night, and I usually have a cup of coffee at the meeting. I mean, you can't not go to a meeting and not have a cup of coffee. It's just like something about addicts making coffee is just super delicious. You gotta chug that thing down and just get really to the root of why you're attending a Celebrate Recovery meeting. But anyways, how's everybody doing? It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for hopping on, tuning in. Let me just hop into the chat and just say, hey, drop a line if you're feeling fine. Hope all is well. Enjoy. Boom. We'll just pin that bad boy to the top. Pin it. All right, here we go. Oh man, it has been a week, just a bunch of editing. It's been a heavy editing, a huge editing week for us. I had 2 major edits to get knocked out. Got those dialed in. Still working on one, but I think I'm about 90% there. I was for a client telling a story about CERC certification, so pretty interesting. And I think we got it across the finish line. It was a little rocky start. It was a kind of a client that, I'll just leave it at that. But I think we're getting it across the finish line. The client actually has signed up for some more services, so that's encouraging because I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but obviously they enjoy our work and they're looking to get some more. So that always feels good. And then, so it has been a huge, heavy editing week. When you're in the groove, when you're in the pocket, just dialing in these edits, it can be tedious, but it is a lot of fun because you have the ability to shape a story. And I just love doing that. So yeah, that's where we're at for this past week. A couple shoots, I think we had 2 shoots, and then the editing process to get done last week. This upcoming week, it's going to be a grind too. We got a couple shoots, a couple edits to get knocked out, and then what else? Yeah, this month, usually after the first of the year, things kind of slow down just a tad bit for us, but they really haven't slowed down that much, which is encouraging. We're also down 2 people, so we are in the process of hiring, did a few interviews. We really take our time interviewing because we want to protect our culture at Small Giants. So yeah, we've, been searching and going through some resumes and some interviews, and it's been a lot of fun. So meeting some new creatives, looking at somebody to join the team. I think we're going to offer them a letter, so I'm excited about it. I think they're going to be a good addition to the team, but you never know, So yeah, looking forward to that. But maybe that's the other reason why we're kind of feeling a little pressure, because we are down 2 people. My boy Spencer left, which is sad, but it's all good, man. Me and him are still going to be homies, and I love the dude, so yeah. AKA Lufa. Lufa, that's his nickname. Spencer Lufa. All right. So what I want to talk about is I got some new shoes, and I'm excited to share them with you. But before we dive into my new shoes, I want to show you my old shoes, and I want to show you those pretty quick because I got them up here on the couch and they kind of stink and I don't want to be smelling them anymore. So yeah, let's go ahead and give these things a look. So I run in Brooks. I recently, for the past 3 years, maybe 4, have decided to run with Brooks. Before Brooks, I was a Saucony or Saucony, however you want to say it. I like saying Saucony. I was a Saucony runner. I ran in this shoe called the Kinvaras, I think they were, Kinvara, the Saucony Kinvaras. I love those shoes. Probably the best fitting overall weight of the shoe, durability, everything. Those shoes were amazing. And unfortunately, they changed the iteration of the shoe like they do all these shoes, man. It seems like they take a shoe, I love it, it fits perfect, and then like the iteration starts changing down the line. I don't know if it's a product selling thing or they're trying to innovate, but I really wish they wouldn't mess with the shoe, especially when I find a shoe and it fits well and I love running in it, and I just wish they would keep that shoe forever. But that has not been the case, and it's not the case now, which is a little frustrating, but it's all good. I don't want to complain, but yeah, I really love the Saucony Kinvaras. Those were my favorite shoe, but they just changed them too much, and I wasn't getting a good run with them. And they started to fall apart way quicker than the first iteration of those shoes when they first came out. But I love those shoes, and it makes me think when I go to buy shoes, should I buy like 20 pairs of them so I know I'll be good for quite some time? But who knows? I have a buddy that buys a week's worth of shoes and then he rotates them. So he'll run in one day, run in the next day, and he just does that throughout the week, and it says he prolongs the life of the shoe down the road. I haven't tested that. I usually just buy one pair of shoes and burn them suckers to the ground. But yeah, so about 3 years ago, I went to Roadrunner Sports. It's a local running shoe here. I think they're a chain, to be quite honest. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, became one of their members at Roadrunners so we can build up points and get discounts and things of that nature, because I buy a lot of running shoes. And we're always looking for a good discount. So they fitted my foot, and for the longest time, I've been running in like a 10.5. That's been the size of my shoe. That's what all my running shoes have been since the dawn of me running. But when I got fitted at Roadrunner Sports, they tested me on the treadmill, they measured my foot. They're like, you're 11, and you are pushing 11. Like, 11 would be comfortable. I can't believe you've been running in 10.5s for as long as you have been. I was like, oh, okay. And it's so weird. It was like the first time I put on a pair of glasses that were prescription, and I was like able to see the world in a brand new way. That's how I kind of feel about trying on a pair of 11 running shoe. It was like, holy cow, this whole time. Because I never got fitted for shoes before. I never did that. I just went ahead and my regular shoe size I thought was always 10.5. So I was like, that's what my running shoe's going to be, a 10.5. And I just ran in it. Seemed all right. I know it was a little tight in the toe box, but for the most part, I dealt with it. And it wasn't a big deal. But once I got measured and they gave me a size 11 running shoe, it like changed everything. I was like, holy cow, my feet aren't getting beat up. I feel like I have a little bit of breathing room in there. And it was a way more comfortable run. What's up, David? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. Thanks for hopping on to the live. I appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in, man. And I'm just geeking out on running shoes right now and talking about running. So, yeah. But so I tried on a pair of 11s. They recommended this shoe because I have a very neutral gait. So what that means is my foot is striking very neutrally, and it's like not, it's not I don't supinate or overpronate. Like I just run with a very neutral kind of gait. And usually you can tell that with how the shoe breaks down. I tend to it's breaking down a lot right here and a little bit right here, but that's typically how my foot kind of comes in like that. So it hits the ground and it kind of just, my stride and my gait just kind of neutrally hit the road. I'm not leaning in on one side or I'm not coming in. So overpronating and supinating. Pronating, supinating, I think that's what they call those things where your foot rolls in or your foot rolls out. I don't do that, so hence I have been pretty lucky not getting injured. When you have a neutral running gait, you don't need orthotics. You don't get injured a lot. You tend to take it easy on your joints and your muscles and everything because you're not overcorrecting or you're out of whack. So I did not train to be that way. It's just naturally, how my foot strikes the ground. So, which is good for me. But so yeah, I got these Brooks. These things got about 500 miles on them. They're a little beat back, they're kind of ripping up here on the toe a little bit. They're drenched and they stink. They're all jacked up with sweat and nasty feet juice that's been I should probably wash my hands. But yeah, that's kind of where those things are. But yeah, I'm excited to share with you guys what I got. And the sad story is I went to go get another pair of these at Road Runner Sports, and they said we discontinued carrying them. And I never looked to see if they discontinued them at Brooks, or was it just something that Road Runner Sports was going to discontinue carrying them. So I have not checked that, but it really bothered me a little bit because I was like, why do you guys always change the shoe? They're like, well, we're carrying the new iteration of the Hyperion, the Brooks Hyperion, Hyperion, the Hyperion Tempos. That's what I've been running in for the last 3 years. I love these shoes. They're comfortable. They're a size 11, 11 and a half, I think. No, they're a size 11. Yeah, right? My tag's worn out of them. I can't see. Oh, no more tag. I think they're 11, but yeah. So, yeah, I've been running in a size 11. But here, I got a new pair of shoes that I want to share with you guys. Unfortunately, they discontinued those Hyperion Tempos, and they said we are no longer carrying them, but we do carry the Hyperion Max 2s. So here is my new running shoe. Yay! So I'm excited about these. These things are light, but they seem like they got a lot of durability compared to these. But yeah, I'm excited to give them a whirl. But I wish, I don't know, man. That's just kind of where I'm at. But I do like these nylon laces that they have, because I don't know anybody else, if they're a runner or who watches this runs, having a shoe come untied is annoying. Usually I'll just leave it. So I double knot my laces, and having these nylon laces are so nice because you can just pull them and they come right apart. It's not like getting in a knot like the old laces used to do. These nylon laces are so nice, and I'm able to just double knot my shoes so they don't come untied. And I just boop, and they come right undone, which is super cool. But yeah, shout out to Brooks. I love these shoes. I'm excited to give these things a whirl and see how they work for me. And put some miles on them. Like I said, I got 500 something miles already in these things, which is way overdue. But I usually beat my shoes up before I get a new pair, which isn't the smartest thing. They say you should replace your shoes about every 300 miles is a good rule of thumb when you're running. So I put a little extra miles on them. I just hate getting a new pair, that's all. I wish I could keep the same pair of shoes. They didn't wear out on me, and they just lasted forever. But unfortunately, they don't. And the newer shoes nowadays seem to fall apart faster. So they kind of force you to get a new pair, which is sad. But yeah, so those have about 500 miles, and they will now become my yard shoes. I will mow the yard in these things. I did used to send my shoes to like these third world countries where they needed shoes. I used to do that. I kind of stopped doing that. I don't know why, but because I needed yard shoes to mow the yard and whack some weeds, and because I was doing it in Birkenstocks and I hurt my foot. My wife's like, oh man, you need to put some damn shoes on. Stop going out there cutting the grass and whacking weeds with Birkenstocks on, man. Like, rock some shoes. So now my old running shoes have been my yard shoes, and those things are way beat up. These will now become my new yard shoes, and these will become my new running shoes. I am looking to get a pair of trail running shoes because I need to start training on trails, because most ultras that I'm looking at are trail running ultras. And yeah, so I've been running nothing but on the road, which is fine. My coach says it's okay, but I need to start looking at getting a good, decent pair of trail running shoes, which my wife bought me some. She bought me a credit at Roadrunner Sports to get a pair. I just haven't went and picked a pair out yet. I'm kind of waiting to get some feedback from my coach and see what he thinks. But he says that's the funnest part of his job, is help picking shoes out for his clients. So I'm excited about that, and getting a new pair of trail running shoes to break in. I've never owned trail running shoes, unless you call those, what shoes do I have? Those Solomon hiking shoes. They could be a cross. They're like a cross between a trail running and a hiking shoe, but I use them primarily for just hiking. So, and I love those things, those Solomons. They're a good hiking shoe. Yo, what's up, John? How you doing, man? Dude, so funny story. Funny story about the toe finger shoes, or whatever you want to call them, the Vibrams. When that whole Born to Run book came out, and he went and ran with the Indian Scott Jerker, as he says in his book, or his wife and friends call him. He ran with this tribe of Indians that ran on these flat sandals, and that started the whole craze of like barefoot running and, you know, minimalist type shoes. And I bought into it. I got a pair of them, and as soon as those suckers came in the mail, this is up in Alaska when I lived in Alaska, as soon as those suckers came in the mail, I popped them on my feet. I'm like, they feel really weird. I don't know if I like things separating my toes. And I'm like, these are interesting. And I went for a run, and I ran like 7 miles in those things. And at that point, I was putting in about 100 miles a week on my training runs, because I was a competitive runner back then. So I was just beasting these runs out. ran multiple marathons, ultra distances and things of that nature. And so my body gets used to like being sore, and especially after a run, like ice baths, that's typically what I do to recover. I went and ran 7 miles in those damn Vibram minimalist shoes, the toe shoes. And I couldn't walk for like 3 days, no lie. I could not walk. I was hurting so bad, man. Like my Achilles hurt, my calves were killing me. Like, it was not the smartest thing to do when you first get those. So my recommendation is, if you ever try them or don't go running long distance, break them in slowly. Those things, I bought another pair after them. I would train in those, and then I think it was New Balance that came out with a minimalist shoe that I actually preferred better than those I didn't like my toes being separated. There's just something weird about it to me. People would go hiking in them. People would just wear them around the office. Those things became really popular. But I got so many weird comments from people about them, saying they're ugly, whatever. Not that that matters. That shouldn't matter. But as functionality and me training and running with them, they just weren't my jam. I just couldn't get past my toes being separated. So when New Balance came out with the similar concept, they had a minimalist shoe. I started doing my speed training days in those types of shoes, and I gradually took it easy with them. And so that's my story about the toe shoes. They were interesting. And the other thing is, you don't typically wear socks with them. You could get like a pair of socks they made for them, but normally you just put your feet in them. And man, I thought these things stink. When those things were beat back, man, they reeked. And I washed them, couldn't get the funk out of them, man. They just were terrible smelling after that. And I don't know if it's the material inside of them, just collected bacteria that just, I'm getting a little, maybe too much information, but they were just brutal. They just stunk so bad. And I was like, okay, I'm done with these shoes. If I can't wear socks, I'm not going to be comfortable in them. So I stopped wearing those toe shoes. Yeah, they say, and I don't know if this is true or not with them, as far as like if you have problems with your, because orthotics and things of that nature correct the imperfections in your gait and your run and your strides and all that stuff. Orthotics have done a great job at compensating those things. And when they said over time, people got reliant on that orthotic, and it started to weaken certain muscles in their body, especially in their legs and their feet and things. So they say the toe finger, the minimalist type shoes help rebuild up those muscles that gotten weakened with orthotics or heavily padded shoes that you use to like train and do stuff like that in. And that's what they say the benefit of those shoes are, is to help strengthen those muscles that have gotten weakened over time. I don't know. I haven't really dived into the science in it and to see if that's the case, but they say that they do. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there's stuff out there, that says that. So that's just what I've read and what I've heard over the years when it comes to minimalist type shoes like that. So, yeah. You did a marathon in those things? Holy cow. I can't believe you ran no joke. I've done a lot of marathons. Ton. I couldn't even count how many marathons I've done. There was a group of dudes called and women called Barefoot Runners, and they ran barefoot. No shoes. They didn't have any shoes on. These dudes and ladies that were out there just killing it, running with no shoes on. It was insane. I was like, holy cow. There was like a whole group of barefoot runners that were out there just crushing it. You know, I don't know if they're setting speed records or anything. I would be curious to know how fast the fastest barefoot runner is. Because, yeah, I've seen them out there, though. That is intense. I don't know if I could ever think about running a marathon. Now, there are some pro marathoners that run in racing flats. So you got, you know, a racing flat is not much more support than those barefoot running shoes are. So, I mean, it's possible for sure. I can't believe you did it, man. That is impressive. The farthest I ever ran with those things is like 7-8 miles. And eventually I got into running a little bit further with them, but they were just killing me, man. I just couldn't do it. So to run a marathon, and you did it Ironman, holy cow, man. I guess, did you just wear them the entire time and didn't transition? You know, that's where they say that you kill it in triathlons is the transitions. If you could nail down your transitions. I've done a few sprint tries. I've done a couple Xterra events. I've done a 70.3, which isn't a full Ironman, it's a half. But yeah, I did not choose to run in barefoot running shoes. And my transition sucked as a triathlete. It was just for a couple years, maybe about a solid 3 years. I did triathlons. Never did anything over a 70.3 though. So that's awesome, man, that you did a freaking Ironman in those things. That's crazy. If it was me, I probably just wouldn't take them off. I had a way to, like, you know, usually you get clip-in pedals for your bike. I have a way to have those things have clip-ins so you can just clip into your pedal and just go. You don't even need to take your shoes off. You just swim in them, you run in them, and then you just bike in them, and you're good to go. Probably cut your transition times down way a lot. That's awesome. The goal is to survive. Dude, tries are amazing. Like, that 70.3 that I did was painful. I mean, I've ran 75 miles nonstop before. That was brutal. It took me 14 hours. That was a hard push to get that thing done. And there is a certain point where you're just trying to survive. Everything in your body, your mind, everything is just telling you, why are you doing this? You need to stop. Because your brain goes into survival mode. It's like not prepared for you to push your body like this. And it's like telling you to stop. And that's kind of how I felt both during the 70.3 that I did and the 75 miles that I ran. Probably the two hardest things that I've ever done were those two things. And yeah, every inch of the way, like my body and my mind was telling me, stop, just stop. This is pointless. Why are you doing this? And it becomes a mental battle, like, to keep pushing yourself through those things, man. It's crazy. Yeah, so, funny story, when I was doing that 70.3, so I had aero bars on my road bike, and I'm sitting here just grinding. I decided to change out my hydration system to try this new system that I've never tried before, which is another terrible idea, because I've been training with this other system, you know, with fluids in the back, and I had a fluid thing mounted on the thing. So I got this new aerodynamic shaped container that fits, you know, perfectly where your aero bars are, and it has a sponge so people can fast fill and then get you out of there and put the sponge back in with the straw, and you're just able to go. And I'm riding this thing, well, at my transition thing where I was getting my fluids, and I'm on the bike now, so they poured it in. They forgot to put the sponge back in. So I'm cruising, and it was kind of a bumpy road, and I'm just cruising on my bike, and every little bump I hit, fluids, you know, electrolytes were just splashing me, and it completely drained my fluids. Like I ran out of fluids because they just all kept bouncing out of the container, and I just wasn't able to well hydrate. And I remember at one of the aid stations, the guy's like, "You're not looking so good, bud. You need to kind of take a. Why don't you just sit here for a minute, drink some fluids, and then get going?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So I forget what my time was. I want to say it was like 7 hours to do that 70.3, which is not blazing fast by any means, but yeah, I killed it on the run though. That's because that's my strong suit. I was able to, I sucked at the swim. I kind of almost drowned. And then, cause, and then the bike was like 100 something miles, and I just wasn't, yeah. But I killed my run. I think I'd averaged like a 6:30 pace for the 13 miles that I ran, which was nuts. I couldn't believe I was able to do that after swimming and biking like I did, but it was crazy. Yeah, right? Doing this makes a long feel easier. You're right, man. So, yeah. All right. I think I kind of went down a rabbit hole. I can nerd out on running and tries and all that stuff all day long, but yeah, so I'm excited to give these shoes a whirl. I'll let you guys know how they go. My running has been going pretty decent. Not bad for somebody who just quit smoking a couple months ago. And I didn't smoke for very long, so it wasn't like I did a bunch of damage, but I think I smoked for a good solid 3 months. And then getting through that initial pain of not being able to breathe and having Fat Valley fever, it's just, I'm feeling comfortable and confident in my ability to start picking them up and putting them down. I think I did, minus my interval day on Friday was brutal. My legs felt completely heavy. I don't think I rested well up to then. And then I had to do some intervals. My technology kind of failed on me, and it disoriented me a little bit. It's weird. Technology, it's either hinders you or helps you. I don't know. Sometimes it seems to hinder me a lot of times. So I don't typically run with like headphones or anything like that, but my watch has the workouts pre-programmed in them, and it just tells me when my interval is, and it's really nice. A lot of the runs, because I've done strides, I've done like fartleks, I've done tempo runs and intervals. So, oh dude, the shoe that I got was the Brooks Hyperion Max 2s, because they stopped making these Hyperion tempos is what I've been running in for the last 3 years. But when I went to go get another pair at Road Runner Sports, they said they discontinued carrying these things, which they do that, man. They change the shoe, which pisses me off, and then it makes me wonder if I should buy tons of the shoe just to keep them stockpiled, because I don't want. Once I find a shoe that I really like, I just wish they would just leave it alone. But that's the selfish part of me. But welcome, Joe Schmo, man. Appreciate you hopping in. And so I was geeking out on running shoes and stuff, and talking about my old shoes, my old Sauconys or Sauconys, however you call them. But yeah. Hyperion. Okay, there you go, dude. Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, I was probably butchering that. Hyperion. Hyperion Tempos is what I have been running in. These things got about 500 miles on them, so way overdue. I'm excited to break these things in, but yeah. So, and then we were talking about tries and some those toe finger shoes, the minimalist shoes, like when they first came out. I ran 7 miles in those when I first got them, and that was like the worst thing. I hurt so bad I couldn't walk for like 3 days after doing that, because it just beat my legs up, and not recommended. But that was like many years ago, right when that whole Born to Run thing came, and that big barefoot running craze happened. But yeah, so, but John ran a marathon in them. That's insane. I mean, I have seen people run marathons barefoot before, so that's insane. I just, yeah. All right, what was I getting into next? Yeah, so that's a little bit geeked out a little bit on some running stuff and some tries. Don't know if I'll ever do another try again. I don't have a road bike anymore. I sold mine. I had a Specialized. It was a carbon fibered bike, really nice bike. It was like $7,500 for that bike. Yeah, I ended up selling it. It was a nice bike, but just had stopped doing all that stuff when I got caught up in my addiction. Kind of sold all my stuff, got rid of it, got out of running and training and all that stuff, and now I'm kind of creeping back into it. So I literally just got done probably about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago maybe. I did a little recovery run. It was good, man, but it was back to back. So I had intervals on Friday, an hour run yesterday, and then a 30-minute kind of recovery run today. And I don't know what recovery run means because I'm all gas. I don't have no brakes. And my coach, I know he's probably going to tell me to I need to slow down. Definitely get in that zone 2 heart rate and just kind of take it easy. I'm going to do more damage, but it's like, I feel like I need to take advantage of my abilities to push myself for whatever reason. That's like, but he's like, you don't need to do that, man. Like my coach told me, you're not going to have those A+ runs. Those are rare. Like you'll get them, but they're rare. Like you need to appreciate that it's about the progress, not so much the perfection. And that really resonated with me, especially being in recovery. It is. It's about the progress, taking it easy, not killing myself when I go out the door, and just enjoy while I'm out there and what I'm doing. So, but yeah. Check out Tony Riddle. He'll convert you for sure. All right, man. I don't know who that is, but I'm all for it. I'll check him out. Let me see who he's all about. Maybe I should know him. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of runners on YouTube right now. Hans Troyer, this kid, he is super impressive. He's an ultra runner. This other dude named Jaffe, oh man, that dude is a beast too. There's this really cool documentary style, King of Moab. I think I've talked about it on here before. Super fun watch. That dude's intense and motivating. I'm just like, man. And he's one of my peoples, like a lot of people in recovery gravitate towards like the suffering aspect of running. You get those dopamine hits of the runner's high and stuff like that. So you got a lot of us crazies that just love suffering, that get out there and do that thing because they just love it. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into some YouTube analytics. Let's see how the channels. I'm going to just be upfront with you guys. I know the channels hasn't been doing great for the last few weeks. It's just kind of stagnant because I haven't really been doing anything but these lives, which is not healthy for my channel. I need to start putting energy into creating content. I was watching like a lot of my old videos and I was like, man, I had a lot of fun making those things and I need to get back to that. But just finding time and the motivation to do it, it hasn't broken me yet. Like instead, this weekend was super lazy for me. I was going to put together, I've already shot everything. I just need to edit it and put together a little bit about Celebrate Recovery, and I shared a little bit of my mini-moni. So I'm putting all that together. But instead, I binge-watched The House of David, the first season. So that's what I did because my wife was sick, and so she's not feeling great. She's been down and out for the last couple days. So I haven't been able to clean the house like I normally do on the weekends. I'll clean the house while she goes out sourcing. So she's got, things are making it very sick. So me having the house smell like chemicals and cleaning supplies wasn't a good idea. So I didn't clean the house. I mean, I kept it up because I got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So do my best to keep the house not looking destroyed. But yes, so it's been a really lazy weekend. All I have been doing is just binge watching The House of David. Got through the first season, about to start the second season, so which I need to actually put that energy towards like creating stuff versus sitting watching the boob tube, as my grandfather would call it. So, all right. So that's what, all this to say, I know the channel's kind of been suffering as far as like views and subscribers and things of that nature, just because I haven't been putting a lot of energy to it. And I get it, but I'm okay with it. It's not like a thing I still enjoy doing, creating content and doing these lives. It's a lot of fun for me. And I will continue to do it, but I'm not under any obligation to do it all the time. And I kind of let go of that. There was a point in my life where that's all I wanted to do was just create videos for YouTube. And it sucked the life out of me, I think, for the most part, and it wasn't a healthy way of handling it. So I'm trying to get back to just creating and enjoying it. So with that being said, let's dive into some analytics. And for those that are new, or tuning in later, every Sunday I go live, talk about what's going on in my life. Today we talked about some nerdy running stuff, which is a lot of fun for me. And then what I like to do is go into my analytics, the back end of my YouTube, and share the progression of the channel with all of you, because all of you subscribe and are going to subscribe or checking it out. And it's fun to share the wealth with you guys to see how the channel's doing, because you're right here with me. So with that being said, I do have a little bit of a setup. I have my talking head cam here. Make sure my battery's good. And I've been talking a while. And then I have a switcher here, so I'm able to hop between my MacBook and my camera. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. I'm gonna pop open YouTube so I don't inceptionize you guys when I hop over to here. Let me just make sure. Yep, okay, it is working. I'll turn on picture in picture, put it at the bottom, and let's get into some YouTube. All right, go over some numbers. All right, so I hop over here, I go to YouTube Studio, and then what I like to do is just compare the top 3, the views, watch hours, and subscribers with this week to the previous week. Currently, I'm sitting at 896 subscribers, whoop whoop, which is, to me, awesome. I just love that. The channel has grown some over the years. I did have a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. That did not happen, and it's okay. I'm still gonna do YouTube stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. So 896, I'm almost there. I'm 104 subscribers short from hitting 1,000, which to me is freaking awesome. All right, so I go into analytics, and then, so here's what the channel's done in the last 28 days. 14,000 views, 127 watch hours, and 13 new subscribers. Yeah. All right. But like I said, I like to compare it week by week. So I go to custom, and then I hit today. No. So today, so that was this past week. I hit apply. Yeah, super low numbers. It's even lower than average for me. So 1.3K views, 18 watch hours, and 2 new subscribers. So if you're one of the 2 new subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. That's awesome. But like I said, I haven't been putting a lot of energy into creating content for my channel, so therefore this is very understandable for me. You get in, you get out what you get in, or you get out what you put in, and I really haven't been putting in much work into growing the channel or creating new content, so I totally get it. But all right, let's go ahead and compare that. So in order to compare it to the previous week, I go to advanced mode up here, add a comparison over here, and then you hit period over period and hit add. All right, so the previous week I got, which was average for me, that's about average, 2,000 to 3,000 views is average for my channel. So I'm a little bit below that. Well, a lot of bit below that. About 1,000 below that this week. So I'm trying to get a video. Like I said, I have everything shot. I just need to put some energy into editing it. And I don't know how well that video is going to do anyway. It's just, that really doesn't matter. I'm going to create what I want to create and put it on there and share it, regardless if it does well or not. But it seems like all the most personable videos that I do are the ones that just kind of stay plateau. But if I do a gear video or talk about a certain piece of gear, those videos always do really well. So, but I'm not always making gear content. I don't want to make gear content all the time. So I like to share what's going on in my life. So I'm excited to put this Celebrate Recovery video together and share a little bit of my story with you guys. So yeah, and then these are all the videos that equal up to this number. So this is what the views were for this week. Let's dive into, let's dive into watch hours. All right, so 27 the previous week, 18.5 this week. And that's where that is. Again, these are all the videos that lead up to these numbers. And then let's go to subscribers. So I got 4 last week, and then, or the previous week, and then I got 2 this week. So, which is pretty cool. The 2 videos that got me subscribers were, I don't trust women. Maybe that's why I don't have a lot of female viewership with a video that says something like that. You go watch the video, you'll understand. I trust women. It's just, yeah, there's some things I need to work out. That's all. All right, and then my secret weapon for filming on construction sites. That was a fun video. Oh, you see that? This one, the beard. The beard's getting a little fuller now. I'm growing it back. My wife's not happy, but I don't care. I'm growing it anyway. I shouldn't have cut it. Oh, I regret cutting it. But anyway, all right, that's where we're at. So subscribers, watch hours, and then views. So that's the top 3. That's what I compare. What I also like to do is geek out on a couple other things. So I'll go ahead and remove the comparison. And then we'll look at some fun stuff that I think is fun. Geography. Not many places have tuned in. Oh, just 3? United States, India, and Indonesia, which is fine. That's cool. Normally it's a wide range of places people are tuning in from, but it makes sense. I totally get it. So 3 places. All right, and then we'll look at, what else do I like to, viewer age. So again, not very, a shorter spectrum. So 25 to 34 year olds, 35 to 44, and 45 to 54. And that was super interesting. So, and then let's go out to viewer gender. Well, it's still the same pretty much. 73% male viewership versus females 26.2. And then let's see, device type, always mobile phone. That's cool. Computer, tablet, TV, mobile phone at top. I don't ever see that changing. And then let's go to operating system. And who's at top? Android by half. I've given up on Apple ever getting to the top spot again, so. But not throwing shade to Android users. Thank you so much for all you Android users out there watching my content. That is awesome. So, anything else? Yeah, what I like to do now is just go look at the top videos for this week, which weren't a lot of views, but that's okay. The FX6, that got actually a ton. That's cool. That one had like 4 or 5. Man, I'm already 6,000 views on it. That's what I love seeing, is this thing just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. I've gotten 8 subscribers from that video. That is so cool. What other video? These 3 videos have just been growing nonstop for the last couple months. So how much does this one have? 3,000 views, same thing. I kind of like seeing that. That's cool, because these are older videos. So I'm kind of resting on my laurels with these old videos getting views. Hoping they carry me to growth of my channel, because I'm not really creating content. But that's cool. 37 views on that one. That's crazy. I do trust women, so. All right. Well, that's about it. I don't think I have anything. I think, okay, so I'll give you guys a sneak little peek. So I'm putting together this video about Celebrate Recovery because I actually had the opportunity. Let me turn on audio for that. I actually, what's up, Sean? Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. I should have stated that when I go to review my analytics. I can't see my chat, so I just saw it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sean, for hopping in. Always appreciate you tuning in, man. But yeah, so I'm putting together this video, and I'm kind of doing something creative to transition into this, but just a little bit, you know.
All right, grateful believer, alcoholic addict, the name is Jason. All right. Before recovery, my life was chaotic, built on survival mode. I grew up around abuse, addiction, and instability. My home was not safe.
All right, so that's a little sneak peek. I'm not going to share the whole thing. It's just a little mini testimony, but I'm going to put together the video and I'm going to share it with you guys. I should be able to get it dropped tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you guys so much for hopping into the live. We got Joe Schmo, we got John, we got David that hopped in. We got, who else do we got? We got Sean. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. Let me kind of catch up on some of these chats. I just picked up some Topo Atmos running shoes. Never heard of them. I'll have to check those out. They legit look like a clown shoe, but I need something super wide for a bit of a foot issue. Oh, man. I'm glad you found some help with that, man. That's crazy, Joe. You know, I haven't really had any feet issues other than I was running in 10.5s for years and years and years. But once they measured my foot properly and got me into 11s, man, I can't believe I did that. So just think how fast I could have been if I ran into the right size shoe. Just joking. But yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, I hope it is an awesome video, man. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to put it together. It's more of a personal video for me, and it's a little bit of vulnerability, sharing a little bit of that. But hey, that's what Celebrate Recovery is all about. It's sharing that experience, strength, and hope that other people, if they're struggling, they could be like, you know what, that guy seems to be doing okay. There's hope for me. So that's what that is all about, and I'm excited to put it together and share it with you guys. So, all right, well, my camera is about to die. I think I got like 10% battery life left on it. I had it up way too long before I even started the live. So it kind of, and I think my batteries are draining faster nowadays anyway, because they're older batteries. They die faster after a while. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Each and every one of you hopping in the chat, saying hi, prompting some questions, and some thoughts and some things, and digging a little bit into my past, which was awesome, especially with running tries and toe finger shoes. So, all right. With that being said, I will catch you guys. I always struggle at stopping this thing. I will catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.